Morning guys, today is Monday, February 27th, 2017. Welcome to my podcast. We're filming in a new location today. This is my new craft area. My two oldest children have moved out, which has now allowed me to have an extra bedroom to put all my sewing and craft stuff. Right now you guys are sitting on a stack of boxes that my oldest boy still hasn't taken out of the house yet, so I think I'll be delivering them to him because if I wait for him, it could take forever. I have a lot of plans for this room. Don't know what they are yet, but I have plans. For right now, I just kind of threw everything in here and stuck it up against this wall. This is where I normally do my cutting. I have my sewing machine behind me and a little ironing table. Off to the side is a desk where I'll have a computer set up and who knows what, and I've got all my fabric over there, and if you can see, there's a giant window off to my left with a lot of bright light. Alright, so today what I did is I just piled all my stuff in an extra chair over here. We're just going to go through the pile and maybe toss it on the table or put it on the floor and we'll see. Kind of feel a little weird talking today because my husband's in the living room right behind me and I feel like he's listening over my shoulder and it's kind of funny feeling. And on that wall over there I have my 17-year-old son who gets out of school at 10 a.m. and he's playing video games, so we might hear him yell and we might hear him yell, so we'll just see what we can do. I told you guys before I'm in a Quilting Around the World group where we work on our quilting whip projects throughout the year. And if you finish your projects, you go in for a drawing for prizes. In January, for the first month, I won. And they ask you a few questions on what you're into and what you're going to be working on. And one of the things I want to do this year for a hand piecing project is I want to make an orange peel quilt. And what I want to do is I want to have different black and white fabrics. And an orange peel is just basically, you take kind of like an oval, a slice of a football, and I'm going to use a bunch of bright colors, and I'm not sure how big of a square I will use yet, but so anyways, I got these two fat quarters. This one's black with white, and this one obviously white with black. And for the hand piecing, she also sent me a spool of black 100% cotton quilting thread from Missouri Star Quilt Factory. If you want to do any type of quilting or to learn, or you already are, they have a wonderful YouTube channel. I'll post the link down below to them. They have lots of great tutorials with simple projects, and they like to use the pre-cuts, the charm squares, the layer cakes, and things like that. And with that, I also received a pattern. Got you guys pretty far across the room. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see anything, but this is Mountain Patchwork. It's a 3, 6, 7 by 7 patchwork square with some hand embroidery with friends, and it even came with, let's see if you can see them down there, all the little fun buttons to add on. There's hearts and a little butterflies and bees and beetles and stuff. Alright, now into the actual crafting. I don't remember what's in a bag anymore. Oh, this is my memory square blanket. I picked it up a little. I figure it's been neglected, so I should put some time into it. And that meaning I put in these two squares. And I didn't feel like the colors I was choosing were too close to this one, so I went back over to here and I added in this square. And then I've got one row I just cast on for this fun green color. What am I working on? Oh, greens and blues. It's from my son's socks. So I have, oh, it's in my hand. Trying to put a couple squares on each week before it gets too warm. It's already 80 degrees today with a heat index bringing it up to 83, and it won't be very long before it's going to be too hot to be putting this blanket on my lap. I did a little bit on my socks. When I showed you last time, I just got in the toe and I just started working on the blue. Look at that white background. I can use that. So, pretty much got like 20 rows put on. No big deal. I don't think I worked on the other sock at all. Let's see. Why, yes. I put like 4 rows on. Matches my shirt. So there's that. That's the bankhead hat done in sock form. In my washcloths, I finished the one. When you knit these diagonal ones, they tend to kind of like shrink in, so you have to stretch them out a bit. I'll block them before I put them in the shop. So I finished the one I started. Finished the second one. Both of them in that burgundy red, country red, whatever color it is. And I started another one. Like I said, these are great to work on at dinner time. While you've got 10-15 minutes before you got to pick up the kid from school, or you're, like I say, getting ready for dinner, waiting for the pasta to boil. I'm on the decrease section already, so I'm more than halfway through with this one. In my little butterfly bag. This one is done in sugar and cream, bright navy. Does that look like a bright navy to you? I mean, I'm terrible at naming things, but come on, that's not bright. I hate to see dull navy. Let the pile just get bigger. Now, I'm trying to get this shawl, the Duchess of Devonshire shawl, off the needles because I want to put a new one on. I haven't decided exactly which one I want to put on yet, but there's several that have piqued my interest. Alright, last time we talked, I was down here, and now I'm up here, so finished off the one gray section, did a little bit of lace. I ended up just doing another 3 lacy repeats as I did this one. If you remember, I said you're supposed to do 1, and then 2, and then 3, and I did 1 and 3 and 3. It's getting big enough now that it's starting to bunch up on the needles. No, that's not going to work. Yep, that ain't going to work. So, anyway, this is what it's looking like. It's kind of looking like a striped sweater at this point. I don't know. What's Waldo wear? Does he wear red and gray, or Freddy Krueger? What's Freddy Krueger wear? Oh, look, I'm showing you the ugly side. Maybe I should show you the pretty side. See that? So that's coming along pretty nice. I need a helper. I need a Vanna White. What's good is I can see through the lace. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. There's no obstacles in my way. You tell I've been in a goofy mood lately. Alright. Duchess of Devonshire, done on size, I'm doing on size 5s, I believe. I am using size 6, 40-inch Chow Goo with the lace tips, which, for those who don't knit, the lace tips just mean that these tips are pointy and sharp. And if you poke your finger a lot, they hurt. Once again, it is in the Michaels Loops and Thread Wool-like. This one is charcoal. I'm holding that double. And this one is red, held double. It makes for a nice squishy shawl. This one should be nice and large for those not so cold winter nights in Florida. Now, in the cross stitch realm, I have switched over to Nature's Window Designs for the Needle. I don't really know the name of this, but this one's, there's a close-up. This is the full thing. This is hubby's tiger that I'm working on. I have him in a Q-snap. Spent a little time working on it over here. Haven't put too much into it. I spent a lot of time in the last 2 weeks since we talked moving. I cleaned my daughter's room after she moved out so my husband can have that as his man cave. I cleaned my oldest son's room, painted that a beautiful, it's a dark gray, a medium dark gray. They call it whale, but it's kind of like a charcoal. If you look on my Instagram, RsIslandCrafts, by the way, hi, I'm Robin, RsIslandCrafts. If you look at my Instagram, there will be a link down below and you can see when I was painting the closet. It's a nice dark gray with the white trim around the room. And then now I also had to help my youngest move from this room to that room. And of course everyone leaves mama the mess, so I had to clean everything up. I haven't decided what color I'm going to paint these walls yet. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be a light color, a pastel-y color, maybe a nice mint green or something. It's a pale blue right now, and I don't know, it's been blue for a lot of years. We've been here in this house for almost 15 years now, and it's been blue probably for 13 or 14 of those, so I think it's time for a new color. I also need to redo the floor because he had a wheelie chair in here on tile floor with, you know, those little sticky tiles. So those are coming up in places, so got a lot of work ahead of me, a lot of organizing. But if anyone who has a craft room, they know craft rooms tend to be works in progress and you adjust it as time goes. So instead of doing too much crafting, that's what I've been doing. But I did get the bride's quilt. The only thing that was left for the bride's quilt was to put on the binding. You remember, this is the back. This is the front. I almost like the back as well as I like the front. Now for her, I went with the scrappy binding. I just took any of the fabrics that I had in the front, or mostly the fabrics from the back. The star fabric, green polka dots. I used a lot of this fabric right here. This white with multicolored polka dots. That was the main binding. So she's all set. Now the next thing for them will be adding, I decided what to put for their label. I started working on it today. I've got it written out. It's going to be a red heart, which I'm sure, I use the Friction pens. They, when you write on fabric, when you put heat to it, it disappears. Now, it does come back if you're in like minus 20 degree weather or something, but we're in Florida, and unless they plan on putting the quilts in the freezer, it won't come back. Plus, most of it I'm going to hand embroider on it. So what I decided to go with, I have papers everywhere, is, I don't know if you can see that. I went with partners in crime instead of best friends because I thought, I don't know, it's more fun, and really hubby and I always talk about how we've always been like partners in crime. My daughter and I are partners in crime, so it's just something fun. Now my other finishes that I needed to finish for our quilt along for February is, this was the secondary one. If you finished one, you can go ahead and do a bonus for the second one. This is just a little table topper, candle mat, little wall hanging, all Halloween fabric. I got these years and years ago when Walmart was selling fabric for like $1, and when Joann's had fabric for like $2 a yard. Now it's like $9 and $12 a yard. But they're all hexagons, they're all hand sewn together. And then I just go ahead and I did, I kept the uneven hexagons on the edges just for fun. I didn't want to make it straight because, I mean, as it is, it's small anyways, let's have a little fun. I still have to finish up hand stitching where I flipped it in the back, but this is these are tan colored ghosts in a pumpkin. I've never seen a brown ghost, but whatever. It's Halloween. It works. So I finished that one. I did the same thing, the same method with the table runner. There's a couple of white spots here, white hexagons if I want to do a little embroidery on them later, but I don't know, for now it's fine. And this one it's a straight up Halloween orange on the back with bats and ghosts and boo. So that one's done. Now the main project was to be this one. There you go. 4 hearts. I just did a quick quilt, machine quilting around the hearts. You could see where I went around them. And then I stitched all around the edge just to hold it all together. This one's it's a wall hanging or a table topper. And you can have it straight. It might be fun to have it on point like this. And let me show you. Okay, you see these heart shapes here? These, when I went and I made this one, it's the inside of the hearts here. So when I call this entwined hearts. This is a design by Bejeweled Quilts. It's a round table topper, but I don't have a round table. So I think this one will probably just become a wall hanging. Can you see it? It's got this really nice star center to it. See how all the hearts come together, they're points, and they make this fun little star in the center. For this one, I quilted all around, just did a little echo quilt right around there, and also in the center and around the edges. And you should be able to see. Well, it's going to be a challenge with that window right there, with all the brightness. You see the star where it was there? And then all the hearts are around here. And this has got both of them are backed in this blue, I think it's called Toil. I think it's like Toile or something, Toil. Some old-fashioned fabric looking thing. It's got houses and trees and flower bushes and stuff like that. So this is what I've accomplished in the last couple of weeks since we last spoke. I didn't get too much accomplished because a lot of my time has been spent moving furniture and painting rooms and cleaning rooms and sweeping and mopping floors. You know how it is when you start moving things around, you find things hidden behind and stuff. Trying to figure out how I want to have this space set up to where I can find everything. What's really nice now is when I was working in the bedroom. I had to do all my sewing in there, and I do my knitting and cross stitch in the living room. But when I was done sewing, I had to always either cover everything up or put everything away, because with 3 cats, you know, if you leave something laying around, they're going to be right on it, and everything would be covered in fur, or they'd play with it and toss it all around the room. So even if you only had 10 minutes to sew, you spent most of that time setting everything up and putting everything away. So I didn't have too much of that quick little no-brainer, brain-dead sewing where you just want to do a few little things and then you're done. It should be nice in here. I should be able to, I have like my machines all set up and everything. I can just sew for a few minutes and then shut the door, and I don't have to worry about the animals. Now, some of the things I'm going to be sewing in the next 2 weeks is I found while going through things to get all this stuff brought over here, I found these 2 projects. The black and white stripes, I believe I was going to make tote bags with them or large purses. But looking at them, I think they're the perfect size for placemats. So 2 out of 3 of them, 2 of them are quilted. One of them is partially quilted and one hasn't been quilted at all. I'm really not sure how I just stopped in the middle of a project, but anyone who has UFOs, they kind of understand that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish those off and turn them into placemats. My daughter might want them for her new house, for her dining room table. This is a patchwork posse pattern that I was testing for her when I was in a group. It's a kid's play mat. a little lake, a little road to put their little Matchbox cars around and stuff like that. I have the batting and the backing all ready for that, so I think I'll go ahead and quilt that up and get some fun binding on it and have that ready too. So those are my main projects that I know of right now. By the time you see this, I'll know it'll be the first, and I'll know what projects we're doing in our quilt along group, and I'll have to also get those done. And everything's pretty well set. I can sew in here, so I'll just probably take care of those things. And I also have to catch up on the Pat Sloan's winter solstice quilt along. I am probably 3 or 4 blocks behind, I'm pretty sure. Get those caught up. And then just finish up some of that knitting. I'm really not feeling the socks anymore, so I don't know. Those are probably going to take me a few months to get through. I kind of want to cast on for a hat. I'm thinking about a cabled hat. I love to do cables, and I'm feeling drawn to it. And of course, since summer's coming and I can't just knit on the blanket that I'm already knitting, I feel like I want to start a baby blanket or something too, because that'll be nice and hot in my lap throughout the summer. So that's it for me this week, short and sweet. Oh, one thing I was wondering, my podcast is a multi-crafter, knitting, sewing, cross-stitch, anything like that. I was wondering, do you guys watch any other podcasts like that? I'm always looking for a new one. There's plenty of Flosstube ones. There's hundreds of cross-stitch ones. There's hundreds of knitting ones, but I'm always looking for someone who does something like I do. Some quilting, some sewing, some hand embroidery. So if you guys know of any podcasts like that, please post them down below and I'll check them out. Thanks. You have a great week. Bye. Really need to come up with a snazzy ending. Yeah, that's what I need to work on. Snazziness.